welcome to today's show. I'm Jacqueline Stockwell, CEO and founder at Leadership Through Data. I inspire and motivate information leaders across the world.
Currently, I'm at the Information Records Management Association Conference down in Newport in Wales. And I thought it'd be a really good opportunity to introduce everybody to John Chambers, who is the Chief Executive of the Archives and Records Association. So hi, John. So why are you here at the conference?
Well, I'm Chief Executive of the Archives and Records Association UK, and I'm here because we are now cooperating with the Information and Records Management Society to try and benefit our members and wider society. And one of the first steps is that I'm visiting their conference and they're now coming to our conference, that we will be starting to work together. So that's what I'm here, Jackie.
Amazing. And I've seen quite a lot of the global associations starting to align partnerships together. Why are you doing that?
I think because there are people in place who see the benefits of cooperation and working together. It's very, very much personality driven. In the past, there have been people who just aren't interested in cooperating. But right now, across the world, we're in a good place. Lots of people want to work together. And we want to work together with organisations since the IRA was formed. It was formed from the merger of three organisations, and its ethos is that we all need to work together. It's too small.
And what does the ARA do? What benefits does it give to members, and why should people join that association?
Well, it's obviously got fabulous leadership.
Clearly.
Everything we do has to meet our charitable objects, because the ARA is a charity registered in England and Wales and in Scotland. And in order to be a charity, you have to have agreed to charitable objects. Ours are to work for the benefit and improvement of record offices and record keeping, to encourage training and professional development for people in the sector, and to promote research. So everything we do has to tie back to those three charitable objects.
And what I really like about the ARA is that you're very much around archivists and conservation, aren't you? You do have some records.
We have records managers. We share, last time we looked, which is a couple of years ago, we had about 600 people belong to both the ARA and the IRMS. And then we have other people who are records managers. So we're not in the IRMS, and they're just having lots of records managers who are not in the ARA.
Nice.
So if we work together, we are much more effective at covering the sector.
Yeah, and you can pull your resources as well to cover the information and professionals. Yeah. So what actually drew you to this profession?
Well, I was looking for promotion. I was working for a mental health charity, and this job came up with one of the founder members of the ARA, the Society of Archivists. It looked interesting, different sector. Charity management, the Society of Archivists was a charity dependent on volunteers, which is what I'm used to. So it was just a sidestep and very interesting looking organisation.
And how long have you been there now, John?
Well, within 2 years, the Society of Archivists was effectively merged into the ARA. The ARA was formed in 2010. Merger of three organisations, completely new constitution, new attitude, new governance structure, and tries, as I said, to work with others to benefit our members and wider society.
I love that. So you must have a real key passion for the sector, for the ARA, just to keep you in that job role for such a period of time. So you're very quite dynamic and innovative in your approaches. Like, what keeps you in the same job role?
I think because no 2 days are the same. I've always liked charity work because you start off planning to do something and then things happen and you don't do it. And that's what I actually like. People are always getting in touch with ideas, suggestions, there are issues. So it's got constant variety. That's what keeps me going. Could never do the same 9 to 5 routine. That's not my
I really totally get that. It's nice to have some changes.
So the sector is doing really worthwhile work. It's under-resourced. It's hard to get heard. Truth, reconciliation doesn't come without the records, without the archives. So that's part of it. The work that our members are doing is truly contributing to society and benefiting society.
And are you seeing, so archivists and records, you said you had a separation of like membership groups for the different people. Are you seeing more record side that you're needing to look more at AI, Microsoft 365 to support that member basis, or are you're moving with global organizations to support that training required?
Yeah, so both. So AI is affecting all our members in all aspects of their work. But we have got partnerships with ARMA International and Rimba Global.
Yeah.
And one of the first things we are planning to do in the autumn is some joint work webinars on AI, because although it's affecting everybody, there are slightly different approaches. And in particular, there's some different approaches in Australia, which we think our members of the UK and Ireland would be interested in. And likewise, we're doing it slightly different. So the idea is that between the three organizations and our members, we can help each other get it right, or as close to getting it right as we can.
So it's really interesting you said there's different approaches, because when you look at, so Rimba Global is an Australian association and ARMA International is American. When you've said that they have different approaches, what do you see? What different approaches do you see?
Anne Cornish at Rimpa, I think they're slightly ahead of us in developing policy and how AI is impacting. So she gave us some good advice about what we need to do as a sector, because over in the UK, there was beginning to be this thing that we should have an AI policy. Well, actually, no, when you stop and think, policy, AI needs to be in all your policies. You don't need a separate AI policy. And that's the first thing that came out from the sector to us. And we were under pressure to develop an AI policy for the sector. But actually, when you step back and think about it, that's the wrong step.
Yeah, and I think that's really quite impactful, actually. So including it in interview policies about AI usage rather than having a standalone. I think that's a really good concept. My portfolio is global, and there's a really good analogy of that. You follow the sun. So when it comes to records management, like Australia and New Zealand are far more advanced around their compliance. And then it goes to the UK and then it goes to North America. So you just follow the line of the sun from where you think about innovation for records management. And I do think Australia has very much that more advancement as to where we are within records management.
The Public Records Act for England and Wales is 1958.
Exactly. So
obsolete. That's a separate piece of work we've been doing for quite a few years. Actually, in partnership with the IRMS, we started the campaign for records about 6 years ago. Legislation was outdated. It doesn't cover so many aspects of government in the modern world. It doesn't, IT. It's not even there. So we need a new Public Records Act. We were a lone voice, but it's good news is that the UK National Archives now appears to have in its strategy looking at the Public Records Act, which is great. So we're encouraging them to do that. It's going to take quite a long time. Whereas Scotland has the Public Records Scotland Act, which is great. It works. In particular for police. Something else we're doing is police records in England and Wales are completely under the control of chief constables, of local police forces who can do what they want and frequently, unfortunately, do. So again, we've been working with the RMS on trying to get police records into a public record system. Not so successful with that one, but we're keeping going.
Okay, and that's your innovative approach there. So just try to drive that change. I think that's absolutely fantastic. So where do you see the future for ARA to be?
Well, we are growing. The last 3 years, our membership has been growing, which is great. And I think that's because we're much better about showing what we're doing and telling people what we're doing. Apart from me, we've got the best staff team we've ever had, which is really good. So our members are benefiting, I think, from their hard work, and we are delivering these things that we've been saying for quite a long time we'll do. And over the last 2 years, we've actually done it. So I think that's what's making the difference, that we are effective and we're better at telling people about it.
Yeah, brilliant. And I've definitely seen that and the real change. So it should be great to have been working with ARA for five years. And we've seen the real sort of drive that ARA is starting to bring through a more innovative approach. So you also have a yearly conference. So tell me about that and where that is this year.
Okay, so this year it's in Glasgow at the Radisson Blu. The title of the conference is Authenticity.
Oh, I love that, John.
Which, because we do have a section for archive conservation, as well as records management and archives and information. So it basically covers everything.
does.
It covers everything. We're having to do things in a shorter time. We've actually got more interest. So yeah, way more proposals for papers than we normally have in a much shorter span, and sales are going extremely well.
Oh, that's fantastic. You normally have it on the last weekend of August.
Yeah, so much like the IRMS do a Sunday and Monday, we do the English bank holiday week because it's cheap.
Is that why?
That's
I thought
why.
there was some sort of
No.
strategic plan around that time.
We literally get hotels at half price.
Oh, wow.
'Cause
Okay.
nobody holds their conferences in that week, and it's a dead week for hotels. That's the reason. It means that the conference is cheaper for our delegates, and they get them to go to 4-star hotels. And it's cheaper than universities. It just works.
It's brilliant. And you always have such a good turnout at the conference as well. It's always got a really nice vibe to it. And what I really like when I come to conference is that you have a much younger membership.
Yeah.
So it's a very different kind of vibe from the IRMS where we are now to ARA. So I definitely highly recommend it.
Yeah, much better vibe, much more atmosphere, a lot more interaction, I think, than I see at the IRMS conference. It's a different conference to our conference, which is fine. Come to the one that suits you.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's very much, I love both conferences as we go forward. They're both completely different vibes, and they both give unique perspectives on different things as well. Whereas the Information Records Management Society conference that we're at now is very much tailored Microsoft, AI, data protection skills, whereas yours is archives conservation.
You have much broader papers
Yeah.
than I have here, but that's the nature of what we're doing.
Yeah.
We do have a wider lean.
Fantastic. So for you, I'm going to ask you the crystal ball question, which I actually love to ask people on the show. What do you see the next 2 years for ARA?
I think I'm hoping continued membership growth, continuing to cooperate with other organisations and deliver for our members and for the members of those other organisations, and we also have an obligation to deliver for society at large, a bit more effective. Growing membership means we get more resource because we're not for profit. We just put back into services. We're funding other organisations to do research in AI. We've funded Loughborough University and Liverpool University to do a couple of projects. So those are the things that we can do.
And how can somebody join the society?
We'll take all forms of currency. We take lunch and vouchers. I go to the website. There are membership categories. We're quite socialist in that the less you earn, the less you pay. So take a look at our membership categories, and you can just join online. We make it as easy as possible. You can pay in any currency. We have international categories.
Fantastic. And you do have a lot of internationals that come to your conferences as well, which I really like. What membership benefits are involved with the ARA if someone signs up today?
Okay, so members get access to training courses. We run 100 training events a year, both provided centrally and by our networking regional groups, special interest sections. Professional development, we have 3 types of professional development, depending on which stage of your career you're at, early, mid, or senior. Working, meeting other people, getting support on specialist issues. Careers advice, careers development. We do advocacy and lobbying, and we ask our members what they want us to do for them, and we'll be doing that in a couple of months' time. So our members will tell us what training they're interested to provide, and then we'll aim to deliver on that. We fund research. So we have got a really good list of benefits for our members, and the thing is that we now deliver on that. It's not just a list of meaningless things, we're actually doing it.
Fantastic. I just want to say thank you so much for your time today. How can listeners reach out to you if they want to know any more, John?
Well, my contact details are on our website, .uk. Go to About, track me down, my email and phone number on our website.
Absolutely fantastic. And I look forward to seeing you at ARA in August.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Journals of the Information Entrepreneur with me, Jacqueline Stockwell. I hope you found this episode inspiring and helpful and have some takeaway tips that can be useful to you. If you liked this episode, please like, review and share it with your friends. Your support helps us reach more information leaders to stay inspired and listen to great content. Want to test out your strengths and weaknesses and measure it against our Empower framework? please complete the scorecard. It's a great way to improve and evaluate your skills. You can find the scorecard at the end of the description of this podcast. Stay tuned for a new podcast every Thursday, and remember to be bold, be brave, and be beautiful.